It's not raining today, so I've started by getting set up to put on the Rusty tin on the front of the house. But before I do that, I'm putting these 2x6s all the way across the bottom here for the floor of the porch. And once I put these two pieces in, I'm going to go up top, put a couple more 2x6s on for the porch. I'm just screwing them up for right now, but I will come back with the lag bolts to screw them into joists on the other side, which is why I'm doing it now, so I can actually get right into the joist. Also, with me putting the 2x6s up, this is where the joist hangers will go for the joist for the top of the porch, for the roof. The bottom there will be actually for the floor. I'll frame all that up and get that going for when I get ready for the porch. But before I actually start working on the porch, I have to come out and cut down some skinny trees that are pretty tall that's off to the right of the house as you're looking at it. I want to cut these trees because I don't want to take a chance of having a major storm and having high winds and they blow onto the house or the porch, because where they're standing now, if I cut them or if they're blown down with the way that the wind blows, they will fall directly across the front porch. So before I start working on the front porch, I'll go ahead and cut those down, get those out of the way so I won't have to deal with that later on. I neglected doing it earlier in the build because I was just anxious to get started and get going with the builds, because I figured I'd just come back to them. But now is that time I get back to them and cut them down. On the left side of the house, there's one major tree right next to the house that I must cut also, because it's already leaning. It's a pretty big tree, pretty top heavy, and the way the weight is distributed looks like the weight is on the side of the house, so I have to cut it the way it's really supposed to be cut so that it falls towards the left and not towards the house. But before I do that, I have to cut down 2 or 3 trees that are in front of it, because if I don't cut those trees, the tree that I want to cut will fall onto them and it won't fall completely to the ground, and that wouldn't be a good thing because it'll just be laying there on the other trees, and who knows when it'll fall, if it'll fall, and what'll happen in the meantime. So I'll cut that tree or those trees and get that ready also, because I want to make sure that if there are any real heavy winds around here, I don't want any trees that are close enough to fall onto the house. While I was building, I had one tree fall into the house. It was a small tree, fortunately. I was able to get my brother and his son to go out to make sure that there was no damage done. I was able to see that on my camera, and they were able to go out, and fortunately there was no damage when that happened because it was a smaller tree. So that's what will happen. But today I'm going to go ahead and get the final bit of rusty siding up on the front. And that will be all the rusty siding I need to do around the house. Of course, underneath the overhang, I'm going to do something with that, but that can be put off a little bit. But this is the major part here. So once this is done, I can get inside the house and start doing more electrical and plumbing for the bathroom and things like that, in the kitchen. So the build is still going. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's been quite some time since I've been doing this that I've gotten this far. And the reason it's taking so long is because I'm not able to work on it every weekend and that kind of thing. I have to go away and come back when I can and work. But a little persistence and you can get this thing done as I'm doing. I didn't know how this whole thing was going to work, but I know I wanted to do it. Had no idea it would take this long or longer or whatever. I just wanted to get it started and see where I can get with it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a major accomplishment to actually come out here, trees all over the place, have an idea in my head about what I want to do, and actually be able to do it step by step until I've gotten to this point. I think it's pretty cool. It's getting me closer and closer to the thoughts and ideas that I've had in my head about having a house out here for 20 plus years. So I'm quite happy about that. So the remainder of this video is going to be just me finishing this rusty tin in the front, and after that's done, I'll continue on. It's about to get dark right now, so I'm going to have to come back on tomorrow and finish it up, but that should be the end of it. It's been raining a little bit, which is why I'm just now getting to it, but in the end it looks like I'm going to be able to get this thing all tied up, and I can breathe a little bit easier because it's been a great situation. I've enjoyed every minute of this, so it just keeps getting better and better. So as I get closer to getting close to the end, or actually finishing, it's just been a great thing. So we're now at the next day, so I got most everything done, well, half of it done last night until it got dark, so here we are. So at any rate, thank you guys for visiting and continuing to visit, so I appreciate it, and we'll be back with the next video after I get this rusty siding done. We'll continue on. So thanks again for coming, and we'll see you in a bit.